So it's 6 and 5 you're supposed to have out. We did 4 yesterday. Yeah. Okay. I'll go to the next slide while you're ever so quickly grabbing worksheet 6 because I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, right?
Okay. You're in the right spot.
All right. While you're finding that worksheet, a few of us are going to talk about this. What happened when we saw things like that in Algebra 1? If you wanted them wrong, yes. This is how I teach that back then. I make them write it all out, and we get 7, yes? Okay? When in doubt, write it out. Okay. Yes, okay. So the idea was that when the bases were the same, we added the exponents. When we have logs that are, when the bases were being multiplied, let me say that again, when the bases were being multiplied, we added the exponents. When we have logs that are being multiplied, we're going to separate that into an addition problem. Does this sound vaguely familiar?
Yes.
Okay. This division and subtraction are related as well. If we had x to the 7th over x to the 3rd, we'd subtract the exponents, remember, and get x to the 4th. So the same is true if we had the log of m over n. We would write the log of m minus the log of n. Does this seem familiar? Okay. And if we had 6, let's write this as x to the 6th to the 3rd. What did we do with those numbers? Okay, we'd write out x to the 6th 3 times, or we'd write out 6x's 3 times, and we'd end up with 18, right? Okay. That relates to this situation. When we have a log of x to the 6th, we move this out in front, and it becomes 6 times the log of x. I probably should not use 6 again, but the idea is that it moves out front and becomes a multiplication because we were multiplying these here. All right, so on your sheet, you have this, right? So I'm going to write kind of what I just did. This is related here, and you would change this multiplication to addition, separating it into 2 logs. This one relates something like this. So the division separated into subtraction. And this, when we had a multiplication going on, power property became multiply. So the power here goes out in front as a multiplication. Seem okay? Remember those from last year? Okay. Well, he probably did too, but it was new, so you were struggling a little more. Okay. We need to, these aren't really, we're going to use those properties, but these are just to evaluate without a calculator question. Remember, I've promised you a few practice problems every day. These are trickier than what I'd put on the quiz, but they contain parts that are like what I would put on the quiz. So how would we rewrite this? What does the cubed root mean? Okay. And what can we do with that? What did we just learn we could do with that 1/3? Now, this is the part that I would ask on a quiz. This means 6 to what power is 36? 6 to what power is 36? 2. Everybody okay? 6 squared is 36. So we replace that. We have 1/3 times 2, which is? Okay, we did really good till we got to the fractions. 1/3 times. Okay, how about 2/3? Can we just say 1/3 times 2 is 2/3?
Yep.
Okay, should I tell you the story where I literally got a text from my daughter. She's 20 years old. I'm a math teacher. And she texted me, I'm trying to make pancakes and we don't have a 2/3 cup measuring cup. I had to tell her, use 2 of the 1/3 cups or find the 1 cup that has little marks that shows how to make 2/3. Okay. Okay. Yes, it was a proud mama moment right on Facebook, right? Okay. What are we doing here? ln of e. What happens? This really means log base e of e, which means e to what power is e, which is 1, yes? So, we move this out here. We get 9 ln of e plus, ooh, what happens here? 3 times 4 ln, I can't write ln, of e. What did you just tell me ln of e is, or what did I tell you ln of e is? 1. So we have 9 times 1 plus 3 times 4 times 1, which is a lot like 12 plus 9 or 21.
I love how the natural log of e to the 9 plus 4 times the natural log of e to the 3rd is technically just 9 plus 12.
Yes. Okay. This one is actually on your worksheet. Can you try this one on your own?
No.
Come on. You can do it. I know you can. Humor me. Sarah, what'd you get for just this part? Log base 2 of 8. And over here, log base 2 of 4. Okay. So you ended up with? Is she right or wrong? Be gentle. She's wrong? What do you think?
No, she's right. So I got it.
I do too. So 9 plus 10, right? 19. We okay?
Pretty sure 9 plus 10 is 9.
Okay. Some days it's not, but
I never finished 21.
all right. That was the end of the fun. These get kind of messy. This says expand. They start out by getting rid of the division. How do we get rid of division? Woo! We don't do that.
Oh. That's the one we just did, or no?
Maybe it's the next slide. Sorry. X to the 5th. What do we do with that big fraction bar? We do subtract. Okay. Now this is where we start making mistakes if this is on a test or quiz. Because some of us want to move this 8 out, this 5 out here. Anybody know why that's a bad idea? Why it doesn't work?
Because the x has the fifth thing, so we don't know
Because it's
about
only
the
on
x.
the x. It's not on the 8, right? So we need to get rid of the multiplication that's in there and the multiplication that's in here first. Okay? So we're going to have ln of 8. What does this multiplication become? Ln of x to the 5th. Then we had a minus ln of 3 plus ln of y squared. Okay. I made a mistake. Does anybody know what my mistake is?
You didn't distribute the negative. You didn't distribute the negative.
Okay. Both of these said minus, right?
Yeah.
They were both in the denominator here. So I either need to say all of this was being divided, or I could distribute the negative. All right. What else do I need to do? Now I need to move those silly exponents out in front here and here. So I would take ln of 8 plus 5 natural log of x minus natural log of 3 plus 2 natural log of y, as long as there was parentheses here. If you distribute the negative, you'll get this, and I'm okay with either one. All right, guys? What I'm not okay with is this. Do you understand why?
Not the same.
Okay, because a plus, even though it says it's being multiplied, okay, a plus, addition can be done in any order, yes? So if this was a plus, I could move this out front if I wanted. And then when I looked at all that was being multiplied, I'd have an x to the 5th, an 8, and a y squared, and I'd have an over 3 because of this minus. Is that what we started with?
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, so be really careful because that will show up a lot. All right, let me get rid of all my craziness because I don't want you to think that had anything right about it. All right. Oh, we do have one more evaluate that I skipped. Yes? Can you try this one on your own? Yes.
A lot of times you have to find it, or they give you a growth or decay constant. It has to do, it relates to kind of what we're going to do here later. Okay? This will not be on the quiz, the first quiz. Not really, because it doesn't say continuum. Yeah, this is weird. Half-life, that's the one, the formula that I'm going to give you here, okay? Half-life and doubling, so you can skip those. Yep.
What?
Okay, what did we come up with here? Log 3 of 27 was 3 to what power is 27? Taysir, do you know this one? 3 to what power is 1/3? What? Good job. 4 times -1. Anybody get an answer?
2.
Okay.
Hey, we all got it. Oh, that was great.
Whoop.
Poor guy.
Kill myself.
Same though.
All right, guys, this is an issue for a lot of students. They see this and they want to write it as ln of a plus ln of b. There's no such thing as distributing a log, okay? It's not multiplication, so you can't distribute it. If you had ln of a plus ln of b, what did we learn a minute ago? That adding actually means,
Times B.
okay? So you got to be really careful. Don't distribute through a log. All right. Anybody think they can do 2? 2 is kind of messy.
I definitely think this is
Basma, what you got?
1, 3, 5,
Okay. So she said 2 times 1/3 out in front would become 2/3. What do you think?
I'm thinking that's right.
I think it's right, and she made the steps pretty straightforward. Did you follow or not, guys? Not this part? The cube root is the 1/3 power. Was that part okay? Okay, so it was t squared to the 1/3. All right, and then the exponent moves out front. Okay. Could we have put these together first? That would be the 2/3, right? And then you could have moved it out in front as a 2/3 altogether. All right, one more thing. It's probably not going to look like that on the quiz. The format that the quiz uses if it was multiple choice, I would accept what you said. That was perfect. It actually looks like this, I think, minus 2 log 3 of t all over 3. Is that the same as minus 2/3 though, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Just be careful. When you see that giant over 3, it's the same as a third. Okay. Who wants to try 3? Be careful you don't distribute anything crazy here. What do you think, Miranda?
Alright. So you got log of a minus 2 times b plus 4 quantity 6 minus log b to the 5th. And then you have log a minus 2 plus 6 log b plus 4 minus 5 log b.
There's no way I'm fitting that on there. All right, let me try to write it a little better. Yeah, still can't fit it in there.
A little bit better.
If I scooch this over a little, it would help. In the other class, I just took that question and moved it to a new page, but I thought I could fit it in there. It was wishful thinking. Everybody's all right, though, that we can't do anything with those parentheses? We have to leave them? I can't think of any other way to write it, other than, I mean, you could switch the addition order, but otherwise we're good? I try not to put really complicated ones on the quiz, guys. I don't want to grade them when there's 16 ways you could write it. Does that make sense?
I
Okay.
think that'd be really fun. You should make us do all 16.
Yeah. Write this at least 3 different ways. That would be a great, what's called DOK 3, a depth of knowledge 3, would be write this 3 different ways that are equivalent. Yeah. Okay.
I would probably shoot
Yeah. I value my life. We won't go with that. Okay. Who's got, I like condense better, because you don't have to write as much, yes?
you.
Okay. The big thing with condense that students need to worry about is sometimes I write this to remind you. Condense means write as a single logarithm. So it means you never write the word log more than once when you're in your final answer. All right, so anybody think they got this one? Only Basma? All right, Riley, be brave.
Log 9 x minus 3 is 9 divided by log 9
This is what I get all the time, guys. Be careful, Riley. You're very much on the right track. But when you change it to divide, you get rid of one of the logs, okay? You're combining them. Did I write it wrong anyway? Did I put the wrong number there?
I think he said
Okay,
that, but I think
yeah,
it's
he
the
said it
actual-
right, I think. Okay, try one more time. Say the word log only once. Log base 9.
then x minus 3 to the
Yeah, I'll try to write it correctly this time. Sorry.
divided by 2x.
Okay. Do you think this is right?
Yep.
Sarah
Oh, you
says
can't have
no.
an exponent in the denominator.
You can have an exponent in the
Well, you know, you
denominator.
can't have a root in the denominator.
Okay.
That's-
What's wrong, Sarah? Okay. Be careful. This says this whole thing is to the 5th. This says only the x is to the 5th. So Sarah said we could fix that by putting parentheses.
This be equal.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I don't think I would do that. Okay.
She thinks she do it, but she's not sure.
Yeah, no, not so much. Okay. We could actually also write that as 32x to the 5th, because 2 to the 5th is 32. Okay? That's, again, why I don't think I'd do it, because I don't want all those possible solutions. All right. This one's really disgusting. Can I... Okay, Basma, you think you got it? So since these are the same thing and they're being multiplied, she said you can add the exponents. 3/4 plus 1/4 is... My cursor just left me. So it's really just the natural log.
I
Maybe.
don't doubt your skills, Ms. Walker. You could probably write perfectly fine without very cursor. Yeah, we were talking about your skills in chemistry today.
Okay, so to the add the exponents, so we just get to the 1. Again, that's just icky. Some of you might have changed this to the 4th root of, and it still comes out the same, but when we get to that 4th root of, it gets messy and some of you get lost. I don't like that question. I'm moving on. All right. You don't have these, so just talk me through. This one's an easy one. I would put this on the test. It's long and I wouldn't put this many variables, but can somebody... Cassidy, can you talk me through it real quick? Let's get rid of this 13 just so I don't have to write it. How's that? Just base 10. Log what? Okay, what's going on between the 6 and the 8 of the third? Multiplication? So can we switch it all at once? You could write 6 8 to the third, but then you'd still need to separate it. Phone a friend? Morgan? Okay. Is that going to get full credit? You got to move all these guys out here. Since you don't have this, can I just not write it?
Yeah, we get.
All right. Who wants to try this one? Kirsten, go for it. Be brave. Nicely done. She kept that all together. Notice you can't separate that. Okay. Okay, it is 1/3 the natural log of y, but somewhere we also got to deal with that 4. Would that work? It would. You could switch the order on those two, but as long as, why are they both minus? Okay, so a lot of you would have forgotten and put a plus. And you could put a plus as long as you put in parentheses, right? Do you see where that would be okay? Because these are multiplied, so it's plus, but they're both in the denominator, so you need that minus or distribute it. Okay, now I made it look really funky. Because, let's see, can I move that one and that one? Oh, you know, most of us would have left this at the... Oh, my goodness!
Okay, this problem is an actual representation of my life.
You could just hit the...
You don't have that problem anyway. We're moving on. Okay, condense. Yeah, I'm not liking this.
Which is...
Log x plus 1 to the fifth, negative fifth, like she said. 6x to the third. With parentheses.
And what should we probably do with that?
Put in there. So 6x to the third over.
Okay, so 6x all to the third over x plus 1 to the fifth. Yeah, that's disgusting. All right, this one's not as bad. What about this one? Are we skipping too many steps for some of you when we make it x to the fourth? We move it up there. Okay? Minus means divide. Okay?
So then it's x to the fourth times x.
And minus also means divide by this, so this is still in the denominator. Okay? And the trick is, remember, you can only write ln once, so it's the ln of the whole thing.
Could we distribute the x to the fourth?
We could distribute the x to the fourth. I don't think I would ask one with that many x's all over the place. All right, guys. Calculator. Got a calculator? Get a calculator.
Bet I got a calculator.
Okay.
I like math.
Your calculator does this or it does this. Okay? Your calculator doesn't do this or it didn't used to do that.
Oh, didn't use to.
Log base 2. I had no way to do that on my calculator. Please follow along with this line of thinking for a second. If I'm trying to solve this, what is the log base 2 of 5? I had to rewrite it as 2 to the x equals 5. 2 to the x equals 5, that's what it means, right? Then I would have to take the log of both sides, either log or ln, it didn't matter. Because I could do the natural log or the common log on my calculator. Then where would this guy go? Multiplied out front, and how do I solve for x?
Divide by the log of 2.
So I'd have the log of 5 divided by the log of 2. That is equivalent to this. It's called the change of base formula. It says you take the log of the number divided by the log of the base. And you can do, here, you can do log or ln. So this is what I want you to type on your calculator right now. I don't want you to use any fancy button your calculator might have. I want you to type log of 5, and you do have to close the parenthesis, divided by log of 2. And then I want you to type ln, or natural log of 5, divided by natural log of 2.
Why does that work? That's weird.
Because you are evaluating the log base 2 of 5.
Look at that.
You're really finding the log base 2 of 5.
Why does it
Now,
work in both? Like even the natural log.
because you're taking the same log of the top and the bottom.
Okay, same grade.
Okay? Now, this is change of base formula. If you have a newer calculator, you can go to the math button. If you have one of the older TI-83s that doesn't do it, I actually never use it, okay? Go to the math button. It's at the very bottom of the list, so if you scroll up, it's a little faster. Find this one that says log base. Okay? If you hit enter, it'll let you type in these little boxes. So you could do the log base 2 of 5.
Why did I never learn this?
This is great.
Shh, guys, one more time. It's the math button. Arrow up. It is the log base button. Okay? You can type in the little boxes. Now, I don't do it because it's a pain in the neck to me. I would rather type the log of 5 divided by the log of 2 because I think it's faster than finding all those crazy buttons. It's the same answer. Okay? Shh. Guys, please. I was going to say something else and I don't remember what it was. Okay. Oh, I know what I was going to try to show you. If you're really into using that button, there's a shortcut, and I can't remember what it is. It's alpha. Nope, it's alpha window. See down there in choice 5. But I don't think that's any less buttons either. Alpha, window, choice 5, and now I got to start typing in little boxes. Alpha y equals doesn't work, does it? What? Oh, alpha y equals, and then you could go over and you'd get to that little shortcut menu. I just don't like all that stuff. I can't remember where it is, and anyway. All right, I am moving on. I need you to type these three in your calculator. You have 30 seconds. Go. For the first one?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just showing the way I would do it. You can do it whichever way you want. Let's make sure you're getting this answer. Doesn't matter.
1.61.
As long as you do the same thing to both numbers, you can do ln. What? All right. Whatever method you chose, did you get those 3 decimals? Anyone not getting those? All right. More expanding practice. We're going to spend about 3 more minutes on this, and then I'm going to talk about some things off worksheet 5. I want somebody to do number 9 who hasn't done one yet today. Okay, Emerald, what you got for me?
Nailed it.
You do have to have those parentheses there, guys. Because if you just write ln of 3x plus 2 in a situation like this, it would look like the natural log of 3x only. Do you see what I'm saying? Just be a little bit careful. She skipped some steps. Are we okay? Square root was 1/2 power. Okay, this also could have looked like this on a test or quiz, right? Same thing. 1/2 dividing by 2, same thing. Number 10. Tanner, you want to try that one?
Okay. 3 times the log base 2 of 2x plus log base 2 of x plus 1.
Done? That's why I wouldn't ask this question, because it's kind of... Can we do something more, Tanner? It's kind of gross. We could separate this. The 2 and the x are multiplied, right? But that 3 applied to both. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't ask this question, but we could do log base 2 of 2 plus log base 2 of x.
I would have got that.
Now, could we go even different? This is one I could say, give me 5 equivalent versions. Because what's the log base 2 of 2? This is 1. So if I distributed this and changed that to a 1, I'd have 3 plus 3 log base 2 of x plus log base 2 of x plus 1. Okay, I'm voting this don't ask that question, and then you won't. Because everybody's going to stop somewhere different.
After election day, you voted a little late, Pop Power.
Oh, sorry. All right, I like condensing better because we get to smush them together. Jacob, can you smush this one together? Okay, throw it to the other Jacob and I'll come back to you. What do you think?
Natural log square root of 3x minus 5y over 4x plus 1.
Does that seem okay or not? Okay. What? It is fine. You could put parentheses around the denominator, but no, it's all good. I'm trying to trick you. Okay. Other Jacob, I'm throwing you this one because this one isn't as bad. Log base 3. Plus means? Sometimes, not today.
That is true, though.
Okay, so we're going to do 8 times x. Where does this 2 go? We get to throw it up. We get to vomit it up to there.
Ew.
Whenever I say throw something up, I always think that's gross. And then we divide. So we get an x plus 4 down here. But remember, only writing the log once. Tyseer, can you try 14? You can do it in steps if you want. Okay. I would have gotten that from a whole bunch of people, Tyseer. So when we start picking this apart, don't feel bad because half the class would have that answer. Why does the z squared go on top? Okay, because the only thing that was minus was this piece. Good catch. Okay. There's something more that I would like you to do, though. Yes, please know that 1/3 means cubed root. I know we're not used to leaving things in the denominator with a cubed root, but we're going to leave this in the denominator with a cubed root.
How would you solve?
That's all it asked us to do. You'd have to multiply by a cubed root of x squared top and bottom to get rid of it, because then it would become just an x. I'm not going there. Okay. Last one, and I only got 5 minutes, and I want to talk about worksheet 5. Who's got me? Log base 3. X times y. Don't write log again. Is that a weird question? Why is that a weird question?
Cancel.
Okay, can we cancel? Isn't that the same as if we distributed that negative right there? Wouldn't this be 0? Log base 3 of x minus log base 3 of x? Same way it would cancel here? Yeah. Anyway, we're moving on. Oh, shoot. I forgot this question. We got to do this one before we go to the worksheet. It says r equals log base 10, or common log, of I over I sub 0. It says to use I sub 0 as what, though? 1. So we're just going to get rid of this and write I. So it says to put in 6.7. How do we calculate that? What's the little base that I didn't write? 10 to the 6.7. Okay, this is just rewriting it, yes? From the log to the exponent. So then we type it in our calculator. Who's got that ginormous number for me? 5011. Okay, what are we going to do over here? 10 to the 7.1 is... Okay, guys, this is what happened. The amount of energy released by this earthquake at 7.1 versus 6.7 was a whole bunch more, yes? Okay. All right, the assignment, I don't want you to do that problem, it's just icky. This is the assignment to work on, which is right off the sheet, okay? What I want to look at real fast are 2 questions on 5A. The first one is at the top, and it's just like the question we just did. It's a totally different formula. This relates the lumens of light that penetrate into Lake Erie with this constant. It says the log base 10, common log, of I over 12 is equal to this constant, negative 0.00235 times the depth of water in feet. This says we're supposed to put a 40 in, so I put the 40 back here. Then I don't know how to solve that. I have to rewrite it. So I get 10 to that icky power equals I over 12. Can I type all of that in my calculator? And then I'll have to do what? Multiply by 12. So I'm going to type 10 to the power of negative 0.00235 times 40. And then I'm going to end up having to multiply that answer by 12 when I'm done. So it's 9.66 or 67 or something lumens. I don't know if you abbreviate lumens with an L, but I am. Okay. Yeah, it's probably not liters. Good call. All right. I want to write this formula for you. Guys, we have like 3 minutes. Remember, my clock is fast. It says the atmospheric pressure is 14.7 at sea level and is reduced by half. That means it is taking half. But just like if I said I was going to take half every 2 hours, you would put time divided by 2 because it only does it every time you divide by 2. This is doing it every 3.6 miles, so it's x over 3.6. Now, the first A is really tricky. We have to work it backwards. If we have time, we'll do it tomorrow because you don't know how to do that one yet. B, does anybody know what Denver Broncos Stadium used to be called? I'm sure it has a sponsor now. It's Mile High Stadium. So it wants you to just put a 1 in here and type it in your calculator. All right. I'm writing this down for you. This is the half-life formula to use on number 6. Because it says every 14 days you take half. Every 14 days, so it's x over 14. Tomorrow we'll talk about the half-life and doubling formulas and put them on our little empty box on our sheet, okay?
You'll have videos up for that, right?
Yeah, if you're not here tomorrow, I will try to remember to tape the questions that we do, okay? Somebody help me remember who is here to